before MAP, I was better than I had been in my life. I mean, I still had major issues with illness, C-PTSD, combined with bipolar, combined with rheumatoid, combined with also a bit of colitis. And it's just, chronic pain as well. And I think to me, life was very limited. Life was almost at some points like let me off because it was just too hard. Why did I join MAP? Why not? I was at a very open point in my life of healing, of moving forward, and I tried an introductory MAP session with the group I'm in, and I was quite surprised what came up, because I used a completely inane situation to do with a co-worker, just thinking, okay, it's going to help me sort that out, but it actually showed me how much was actually going on inside of me that I actually had no idea about. So after that, I started looking at the MAP Institute, but I had reservations, and I think some of the coaches like yourself even may have had reservations as to whether just joining MAP would actually help in the full sense, because there was so much background trauma, so many years of trauma, so many incidents. It was just, was it going to take just individual sessions on and on? But I couldn't afford at that point. So then I saw your program, Jelena, and I thought, well, I've got autoimmune, let's give it a go. But didn't really think much more of it than that. My life was sitting in doctor's office. It was having tests. It was reviewing symptoms continuously, minute to minute, as to, oh my goodness, my whole body's breaking down. Oh my goodness, do I need to go to emergency? What's wrong with me? And that was my life. I didn't want to live that anymore. And I already knew there was a mind-body connection that was strong, because my original history is just CPTSD and bipolar. And it's just been disorders adding on as years go by. I mean, my mental health history started at 16, and I'm turning 50 this year. Before I started MAP, my symptoms would have been chronic pain, was my major symptom. I have rheumatoid, which causes joint pain, which causes inflammation. I had colitis, which causes all sorts of gastric upset. My memory was non-existent, brain fog. Every day I just stumbled through. Besides that, with the mental health history, I was either high, or I felt I was high or depressed, or I didn't feel that I was ever traveling okay mentally. I was still seeing a psychiatrist every week. And add to that other little bits going on, where, I'd feel a twinge and think that suddenly I was having a heart attack, which I probably wasn't. But this is the life I was living, where every day was panic about my body. Was it going to keep going? I was seeing a psychiatrist still weekly. I have been seeing psychiatrists and hospitalized probably a good 50% of that time since I was 17. We're talking locked wards, we're talking open wards, we're talking long-term hospitalizations. And it started just from not thinking I was good enough. And then I started seeing a psychiatrist and thinking, okay, life's going to be good now. I'm in medicine, I'm studying, I've got all my dreams happening. And then he decided that he wanted to take advantage of me. He abused me for the next 2 years, from the age of 17 to 19. And I never really gained back from that. If anything, I went downhill really quick. And I was a write-off. I actually shouldn't be alive because of everything I've done to actually stop being alive. And been a huge roller coaster ride that I never actually thought I'd fully move on from. Because of my mental health history, I've been on many mental health medications over the years to maxed out doses of tranquilizers. Then with the chronic pain, which started at age 25, morphine became daily. I've been withdrawn off morphine twice from being addicted. And then I moved from there to being addicted to Valium, which I then got withdrawn off. And then on top of that, when the rheumatoid was diagnosed, the medications that were added into my regime were just massive. And we're talking methotrexate, which is a cancer drug. We're talking Simponi, which is it's a biologic, which can do all sorts of things to you. We're talking steroid injections, Plaquenil, everything they could think of, they threw at me to try and halt the rheumatoid. MAP is amazing. It is relative. I didn't even know anything was happening, as I think I've said. It was just like listening to music, and all of a sudden there's these huge shifts happening mentally, physically. Yeah, amazing. All in a matter of 2 months. When I joined When the Body Says Yes program, at first, yeah, I really didn't expect anything to happen, to be totally honest. But I was hopeful. So I just regularly committed to listening to the subliminal every day, which was really easy. I'd go to sleep with it on, or listen to it as I did the dishes. And then I just started noticing that at first I was a bit calmer mentally. I was more focused. And then my body, there wasn't so many aches and pains. And I started having this shift, do I actually need this medication? And I went out on a limb and asked my doctors, and of course, apparently I can never ever come off these medications. And so they wouldn't even help me withdraw from some of them. So I actually did it myself, with, proper research, and continued with the program. And so by the end of month 2, I was off most of my medications. But was I still hesitant? Did I share that? No, I didn't, only because I was frightened to actually jinx myself. And then I went 2 months without medication, and no inflammation has returned after the 2 months. My blood tests, which I still were having from my doctor, all fine. My CRP markers all really down. All the rheumatoid, I'm not on any rheumatoid medications at all. I'm on a reducing regime for my painkiller, and that's it now. And if anything, I actually started being able to think clearly. I started being able to remember, and on. And I'm just thinking, wow, I've wasted years. Because I thought I'd lost a lot of my memory through things I'd done, like I asphyxiated when I was younger, about 25, and also I've had ECT so many times. And then I actually realized, hey, I've got a memory, it's working. And it was just on and up from there. It was amazing. Partway through the Body Says Yes program, I started to notice that I started sleeping better. I actually had full night's sleep occasionally. Not every night, but most nights. I started being able to fall asleep really quickly, which before wasn't happening at all, even with strong sleeping medication. Sleep was just one of those things that I never had. I would probably have labelled myself a chronic insomniac. And then from there, my pain, I just wasn't noticing it as much. I wasn't catastrophizing. If I did feel a twinge, I began to actually realize, hey, my body's talking to me. What do I actually need to do to help this? And then I started realizing things like, hey, I'm actually doing really well mentally. I don't need to see my psychiatrist anymore. A man I respect hugely. I mean, I'm so grateful for having him in my life. He's been my therapist since I was 22. And now, it's actually the first time I actually felt I could fully walk out the door, and that was it, goodbye. And besides all that, just in my own life, I just feel happy. I feel like life's worth living more than ever. And probably the next thing besides all that was I used to so feel critical of myself all the time, always talking if I had listened to my self-talk, it was not great. And now, I don't let the little things get me down anymore. I don't talk to myself as badly anymore. I try and be kind to myself as much as I'm kind to others. And I try and bring a good vibe each day. And I think living with that intention, living with a real gratefulness of heart, has really changed things as well, because my perspective comes from somewhere completely different to where it was coming from, being hard done by, from being the world owes me to life owes me, poor me. Before joining When the Body Says Yes program, I didn't really feel an equal partner in any friendships, in any family relationships. I just felt inferior. I felt so critical of everything I would say, everything I would do in that relationship. I felt that I really had nothing to offer anyone, to be totally honest, that there was, I had such low self-esteem at that point. And also, I was having a lot of challenges in one particular family relationship. And the thing is now, I actually don't know what was going on. I'm sure a lot of it was me now when I look back, because honestly now I can function in relationships even that are difficult, friendships that are difficult, and still come home and go, oh well, I did my best. And whereas before I'd been an absolute mess, I used to always prioritize everyone else in my life. And this has probably been the first year I've put myself first, really first, in that I have been proactive with the program, the Body Says Yes program, in, funding that for myself and actually getting that help. I've been proactive in a lot of other areas. I've been getting a lot of other holistic help in my life. Whereas before, it was almost like, oh my goodness, no, can't pay for that. No. And now it's like, no, I'm an investment, worthy investment. My life is worth investing in. After so many years, freedom. It just feels amazing that this was what was waiting for me around the corner. As I said, over the years, I can see that I was improving, but not to the level that I ever thought like this. No, this is just, this is my wildest dreams come true. This is living the dream.